All right, so if we have not met before, my name is Dr. Una. I am the founder of EntreMD. I'm a pediatrician by training, but through EntreMD, I help doctors build profitable businesses so they can live life and practice medicine on their own terms. I do that through this Facebook group, the EntreMD Facebook group. I do it through the EntreMD Method book, the EntreMD podcast, and the EntreMD Business School. So big shout out to everyone who's watching, who's part of the EntreMD Business School. Love it, love it, love it. So today I wanted to come on and talk about how I fell in love with marketing. And I think this is particularly important because as physicians, sometimes we think marketing and selling and talking about money, that those are not things that are professional, and we don't really talk about it. Like if you think about what we do when we work jobs, we don't, we take care of patients. We don't talk about money. That's not what we do. And, when you get thrown into the world of entrepreneurship, then people expect you to market, to sell, to have money conversations and all of that. And it can be uncomfortable. And you may have heard my story, but I started off as a really super awkward, very shy, introverted introvert. And so marketing was not something I was going to do. In fact, when I first started, my first business, which was my private practice, my philosophy was hang the shingle and they will come, right? Like do good medicine and the patients will follow you and the money will follow and all of that. Like you don't have to be involved in all of those other processes. And imagine my shock when I found out that hanging the shingle was not going to make them come. I had the shingle out for a few months and it wasn't working. And I really remember feeling stuck. Like, what did I get myself into when I realized that I was going to have to market my private practice? I was going to have to talk to people about it. But over the years, I've gone through this process and now I actually love talking about what I do. I love inviting people to come work with me. I love putting myself out there, which is so strange for an introvert. And, sometimes I'm like, how did you get here? And I want to share this because I think you'll be really helpful to somebody who's listening. Okay. So if you hear anything while we go, through this and something that really resonates with you, then I want you to let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat. If you have any questions, let me know as well. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this, right? When you think about marketing, right? There are a number of thoughts that come to mind. Sometimes it's this unprofessional, sleazy thing that we do, and it's manipulation, and we take people's money from them, right? Like sometimes that's the thought process that goes on, and as long as you think about marketing that way, you're not going to show up and market. Like, why would you if you're going to be telling people, stuff and manipulating them and taking their money? That's not something that you're going to do, right? Another thing that we can look at when we think about marketing is we're bothering people, right? Like I'm putting myself out there, somebody must have seen this before, I am just bothering people. And when you think about it that way, then you're not going to show up in market because you don't want to bother people, right? You don't want to manipulate people and you don't want to bother people. And I look at it very differently. And I want to share with you how I look at it and what has made me fall in love with putting myself out there and all of that. And then that can be hopefully your experience as well. Okay. So I'm going to use what I do as an example, and then you can extrapolate it. Okay. So in my business, well, one of my businesses EntreMD, what I do is I help doctors. I help doctors who want to start businesses, who want to grow businesses. I help them build profitable businesses, right? And so one of the things that I really took the time to do is to look at the before and after. So I want you to think about, you would have seen a lot. This is really popular in the weight loss industry where they have before and after pictures, right? And so you have, this is the way this person was, and they worked with, a particular program or whatever, and this is the way they look afterwards, whether that's weight loss or they build muscle or anything like that. Or with makeup, right? Like makeovers, like, this is the way they looked and how they had their makeover, and this is how they look now. Same thing with homes. Somebody had a makeover, a do-over of their home. And so this is the way it looked like, all the clutter, all the, walls with old paint and, outdated kitchen cabinets and all of that stuff. And this is the after. The thing with the picture of the before and after is so clear, right? So clear what it looked like before and what it looks like after. Now, I want you to think about painting that picture in your mind with what someone's life can look like before they work with you, and then what it looks like after they work with you. The clearer that picture is, the more you will love marketing, because marketing will stop meaning that you're doing something sleazy and you're manipulating people and you're trying to take their money from them. It will stop meaning that you're bothering people. Marketing will mean you're helping people. I want you to think about it, maybe even type it in the chat, right? Like, think about it, where you think about marketing as helping, you think about selling as helping. The clearer you are about that before and after picture, the more you can tap into that, the more you fall in love with marketing, right? Because marketing and selling, it's helping. It's not sleazy. It's not manipulation. It's not bothering. It's helping. Okay. All right. So let me give you an example, like I said, with my business. Okay. So there may be a doctor who started a business. Okay. But it started the business, is really unclear about the next steps to take to help the business to grow. This doctor doesn't have enough clients or patients. And because of that, they're just not bringing in the revenue that they want to bring into the business. Maybe they don't have a support system, so they really feel alone as an entrepreneur. This person may be struggling to hire the team, the people that they'll need, sometimes struggling to hire because they don't think they can afford it, or struggling to hire because they're not sure, what to delegate, or they don't think they can attract the kind of people who they need to work with, right? Maybe this person is having a lot of fear of putting themselves out there, fear of charging ethically, right? Fear of charging, properly for what they do. There may be a lot of fear around speaking. There might be a lot of fear of, having meetings with their staff. There may be a lot of fear, right? A lot of overwhelm and things like that. And that's what a doctor's life can look like before, right? Before they start working with me. And, so it's a lot of, I just don't know what to do. Now, I see that picture clearly. And there are variations of that picture, but I see that picture clearly. And then on the other side, what could life look like? And, I don't have to imagine it because, in the EntreMD Business School, we served over 200 doctors. And so I've heard story after story after story after story. Many of them you've even seen in the EntreMD Facebook group here, right? And so I know that that doctor who feels alone can feel really supported, right? Because you're in a community of other physician entrepreneurs. I know that that doctor can feel, confident in next steps because now they have a roadmap, right? And that's something you hear them say over and over, like they have a roadmap. I know that that doctor can, become comfortable, at least more comfortable being uncomfortable. I know they can embrace the discomfort of putting themselves out there and start doing it and ultimately fall in love with. There are doctors who would say, man, when I started off, I didn't like doing these things. Now I'm comfortable doing them, right? So they're comfortable putting themselves out there. They're confident putting themselves out there. They're confident leading their team. They know how to build a team and have them work in a profitable way. And they now they have the patients they want, the clients they want. Now they're bringing in the revenue and they're crossing those milestones, 50,000, 100,000. 250,000, 500,000, a million, multiple seven figures. They start crossing those milestones, right? So when I look at the doctor before and I look at what the possibility can be, then I'm very bold to say, oh my goodness, what you have been looking for is the EntreMD Business School. Do you see what I mean? So what made me fall in love with marketing, fall in love with putting myself out there, is getting clear on the before and the after. Is getting clear on the before and the after. Once you can understand this is what life will look on the other side of working with me, once you can paint that picture, then you just realize marketing is helping, selling is helping. It's not manipulation. It's not sleazy. It's not what a used car salesman would do. That is bad selling. Okay, selling is not good or bad. There's It's not bad in itself, but there is bad selling, right? That it's actually helping because somebody who has this pain, this problem, you can bring them to this solution. Okay, and so what I want you to do is I want you to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a 30-minute walk, whatever. And I want you to start thinking, what pain does my ideal client or patient have? Right? Like, so this is before they start working with you. What is the pain that they have? Right? Somebody who wants to lose weight, their pain may be they're just, tired of being tired, and they don't necessarily like what they see in the mirror, and they're tired of, going to the next size in clothes, and maybe at this point they're embarrassed or whatever. You know them, right? But on the other side, they can become confident in their own skin. They can learn to eat the way that's right for their body. They can learn to exercise even though they're super busy. And they can just be this brave, confident, bold person again, right? Build the muscle they need so that they're healthier. Some of you even do amazing things with plant-based diets and all of that, and people are getting off medication. It's not that you can guarantee that, but you fall in love with what you can do when you work with people, right? Maybe you help people with their finances, and this person is over here and they have more month at the end of, at the end of their money, and they're embarrassed because they're like, I'm super smart. I don't understand how I can't manage money. And they're scared because they're like, if I can't work, I don't know what happens. I haven't put away money and all of that. But on the other side, though, they can be confident. They can understand budgeting. They can understand investments. They can understand how to invest in real estate, and they can be bosses of their own money. That's the way life can look on the other side. The clearer you are on the problem and the solution, the problem and what life looks like after, the clearer you are on that, the more you will fall in love with marketing. So I say all of this because we're physicians and we love to help people. And one of the sad things is we have the capacity to help, but sometimes we're stopped by ourselves from putting ourselves out there so people can take advantage of the help that we offer. And so I want you to think about this. If you love to help, then truthfully, you also love to market. You just didn't know it yet, right? Because you've developed the thing to help people with. Now you just go out and you tell everybody, like an evangelist, you go out and tell everybody, hey, this is what life can look like on the other side if you work with me. So come work with me, and this is how, right? And so because we are helpers, truthfully, we are marketers if we look at it the right way. Okay. So I want you to think about being in a position where you no longer see marketing as sleazy, you no longer see it as manipulation, you no longer see it as this awful thing you have to do because you're an entrepreneur, but you actually love it because it means you're putting yourself out there and you're showing up for the people who need what you do. You're showing up for the people who you want to give the gift of that after picture, right? So you can be that person. Okay. If I could fall in love with marketing, I mean, it may sound cliche, but it's true. Almost anybody could fall in love with marketing. Okay. So that's what I want you to do. That's your homework. If you do it, let me know in the comments. Like, actually, not if you do it, like, do it, right? But I want you to put your commitment in the comments. Like, I'm going to do the work so I can fall in love with marketing, right? So type that in the comments. I'm going to do the work so I can fall in love with marketing. But you can. And let me tell you the way this works. Okay. You have a great product, and I know doctors, we over deliver. We love to help, right? That's just who we are. If you add marketing to that, you'll be able to help a lot of people, and your life can have the huge impact that you want it to have. And you'll be able to do it in a way that is profitable. Okay. And of course, I always talk about that because in the EntreMD world, we serve and earn. Okay. We don't just serve and serve, we serve and earn. Okay. Serving leads, but earning is right there. Okay. So if you like that, like I do, hashtag serve and earn, that's what we do. Okay. And if this helped you, let me know. If there are any other things you would like to see me come talk about live, let me know in the comments as well. And I will see you the next time that we're live, but I cannot wait to see you dominating your marketing so that you can help a lot and you can earn a lot. All right. See you soon.